Hello, this is wmpyr here to talk about Defang the Snake. Once again, this is one of the most important Filipino martial arts principles in existence. So the first one being, at least the way it was taught to me, is flow. That's the number one. Number two is Defang the Snake. Okay, so yeah, world famous Jeet Kune Do instructor Paul Vanak, he said that Defang the Snake is misunderstood. So he said that in an interview, okay, on YouTube. And I don't know his reasons why he said that it's misunderstood. Now, I agree. I agree that I feel also that it's very misunderstood, but I don't know what his reasons are. But in this video, I'm going to share with you my reasons why I think it's misunderstood. And plus, I was just watching right now a world famous knife expert, okay? And this guy's also a Filipino martial arts guy. And watching the video, I was like, oh no, this is, oh. So look, here to clarify, okay? So defang the snake. Remove the fangs from the snake, and the snake is no longer harmful, right? That makes a lot of sense. That's the way it was taught to me, and that's the way everybody teaches it. All right, it's a cool analogy or story, and you get it. You could picture a snake, and then you take away the fangs, and provided it's not like an anaconda or something that could also wrap around and has other weapons. But we're just talking about like a cobra, right? Let's say, and it's gonna jump at you and bite you. So if you take out those fangs, all right, it makes sense. So then how is that translated to the actual technique for Filipino martial arts? And the way it's taught is, well, you attack the attack. You take out the person's arms, basically. Right? That's the idea there. So the person, the bad guy, has a weapon, and they're coming at you, and you cut them on the arm. And if you cut them on the arm, then their arm is going to be rendered useless. They're not going to be able to use that arm anymore. They're going to drop the weapon, and essentially you've taken the fangs out from the snake, and now you solved the problem. Okay. So that, once again, that makes sense as well, and that's the way it's taught, all right? What I want you guys to understand, and this is something that they're not teaching you, and I want to make this very, very, very clear, crystal clear, okay, is that picture that I just painted for you guys, and the picture that everybody else paints and teaches, which is you take out the bad guy's arm, okay? That is the most perfect solution. All right? So that is, in a perfect world, in a perfect place, that's what you're going for. And that's what happens. Okay, so that's like textbook. So if you can understand that, and understand that that is the highest level, that if you pull that off, then that is the equivalent of getting into a cage fight and you beat the guy in 10 seconds. You do like a flying knee and you knock him out clean like in 10 seconds. Now in the gym, you're going to practice knees, you're going to practice the flying knee, but you don't get that result, all right? And you could compete all your life and that may never ever happen. So once in the blue moon, that happens. Okay, so I just want you to know that it's the equivalent of that it's extremely rare, okay? And in order for that to happen, you have to be like in the zone. Either that or you're way better than the bad guy. So there has to be a huge gap, okay? The bad guy has to be extremely incompetent for Defang the Snake to occur. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. That If you pull this off in a real life situation, then man, you are king, okay? You are playing perfect. There's going to be legends said after you, all right? This is a legend in the making. You just became Conor McGregor, okay? So it's definitely possible, and you know, it's good to know idealistically, you know, that is definitely possible, and that's what you want to happen. Okay. However, in a real life situation, things could be tough. Things probably not going to go the way you want. You have your idea of what you want to happen, and they have their idea of what to happen, and who knows what's really going to happen, right? That's the reality. That's real life. Things are very, very difficult and chaotic and dynamic. So in that setting, when the opponent proves to be tougher, or the situation that you're in is not as going well for you as you thought. So in that kind of situation, if you don't understand priorities, or you don't understand how to make Defang the Snake more combat ready, then you're going to be in big trouble if you only go for, oh, I need to destroy his arm. I need to destroy his arm because that's Defang the Snake. So I'm going to destroy his arm no matter what it takes. And the other guy is going for your head. Okay, he might have a brick and he's aiming for your head, and you go, I'm going to destroy his arm no matter what. Even if he hits me in the head with that brick, I'm going to destroy his arm. Well, the moment you do that, the head is like a computer. So once the CPU is shut down, then the rest of the body cannot function. So it's going to be lights out. So if you get knocked out, then now you're completely at their mercy. So this is why you cannot do that. You can't do Defang the Snake that way, especially against a tough opponent like this, in a tough situation like this. You can't use Defang the Snake this way. Defang the Snake, all of a sudden, you have to know the golden opportunity version, but then you have to have the silver and the bronze, and also beneath that, you have to have more realistic versions of Defang the Snake. And the most important thing for Defang the Snake should be your survival, your protection, is to keep you safe. Because you got to ask yourself, why am I going for their arm in the first place? Well, how come I'm not going for the neck, the head, the body? I mean, those are vital targets there. Why aren't I going for those main targets that, you know, throughout history, if you look at combat with sword fighting and stuff, I mean, those are the main targets no matter what country you go to. So how come I'm not doing that? Well, you're not doing that because you're not trying to defeat the opponent. You're trying to survive. So defeating the opponent and showing that you're a better fencer or you're a better knife fighter in self-defense, that we don't care about that. The guy could be 10 times better than me. I'm not here to try to show my bravery or to show my skill or to test myself against this guy. That's not the goal in the street. I could care less. My goal is to survive and make it home. So in that situation, this is why I'm going for the arm, because it requires less commitment on my part. And what I want you guys to also think is that Defang the Snake, the way it's normally taught, is an offensive move where people go, okay, I'm going to take out his arm. But if you work on it from the bottom up, not from the top all the way to the bottom, but from the bottom up, Defang the Snake in its lowest, most crudest form, and then you make it better and better and better and better, because in combat, that's the safer way to go. Instead of going, okay, I'm going to destroy his arm and pull off this move, you're gambling there. But instead you go, okay, I'm going to play it more safe. And I'm just going to keep my distance and try to evade. You start from there. You just try to keep that distance and try not to get cut or hit, or just keep safe. That's where it starts. That's where Defang the Snake starts, from there. And then from there, you start realizing this guy is swinging wildly. It's getting closer and closer. Whoa, that's close. So you used your arm to help you because just this alone may not be good enough. If this right here, and it might slip through and catch you. So we don't want that. So that's why the hands help. So you're evading, but the hands also help. So now your hand is swatting. Your hand is swatting away at the attack. Now, do you want to swat at the weapon or do you want to swat at their arm? So it's obviously a no-brainer. You want to swat at their arm. And if you have a weapon and you do this, oh, I have a knife and I actually do, it's even better than using my bare hands to actually use the weapon. And then if I actually hit their arm, so now we're going into Defang the Snake territory. So in its crudest form, it's just a block. And then a little bit better than that is now we have a check. And even better than that is a swat. So we're making it better and better and better until eventually it becomes that golden ticket, Defang the Snake. So I hope you guys can understand that. If you work at it from the bottom up, then you go, okay, now I know what my priorities are. If I can't evade and if I can't survive, then I'm just being blindfolded and hoping the technique works without really understanding what the technique is. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you for viewing and take care, folks.